Going live, mate.
We're going live. We are live, Spencer.
We're
I'll let you know
live
we're going
now.
live.
Okay,
we are live. Can you turn the brightness down a little bit, please? I'm just trying to. There's a glare, or there's something going on. Certainly. Good. You got to let me do my afternoon and good morning. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, and definitely not in that order. And welcome to episode 46 of the UK Chinwag podcast. Spencer, explain yourself.
I'm still in holiday mode. What can I say? And I shall remain so for the rest of the summer.
Where did you go?
I went to Spain actually. I went to Barcelona for a few days, and I'm off to Malta in a few days as well. So it's just back to back.
What did you say to me when you said you phoned up and you said the telly over here is really funny? You said every advertisement break is punctuated. You said there's a load of Spanish, and then you just uttered a phrase. Do you remember what you said to me? Do you remember?
Well, it all stems from the Far Show. If anybody's seen that, but these do Channel 9. Which of course was a bit of a Mickey take of all the European TV stations, but in Spain everything is so quick and blah, 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 and you can pretty much punctuate everything they say afterwards. Erectile dysfunction.
Excellent. So you're all hooked up. You're all Viagra'd up. You're all
yeah.
Got freeze, isn't it? Like
they gave me the choice between the red pill and the blue pill, so I chose the blue one, obviously.
Of course you did. Right, we've got such a packed show. I've got a list today.
My list is huge. It's a massive list. There's lots of stuff on it.
There is. Well, I don't know. I've not seen your list, but I've got my own list. I'll tell you what we've got coming up today. We've got some news about the Pinfest Classics. We got some news about a new pinball club that is opening up. We're going to talk about Total Nuclear Annihilation 2 or 2.0, whatever, extra. We're going to talk about Toy Story. We're going to talk about Cactus Canyon. We're going to talk about, we've got a Godzilla, hopefully coming to Flipperama Towers very soon. We've got a Rush coming to Flipperama Towers very soon. We want to talk about Monster Bash, and we're going to talk about airbrushing as well. Can we pack that in to
I doubt it.
hour?
I think we'll just leave most of it out.
We probably will. Let's just start. So I just want to get this out of the way with the Pinfest Classics. So at Pinfest, you've got the main tournament, which is we've discussed that many times. But then you've also got the classic machines, the older machines, which is wonderfully run by Sean. The top prize for winning that is £1,000. By the way,
that is fantastic.
£1,000. Now I've not. What I'll do is when I finish this, in the description underneath, I'll send you the link to the thread on Pinball Info. You have to register and you have to pay the entrance fee for you to be registered for that. But I tell you what, Spence, having played those older games, the electrical mechanical games, the early solid state games, that's anybody's grand, mate. I tell you.
I have to say, I agree with you actually on that. I think the classics has been a, dare I say it, and I don't mean any harm by this, but it's been a bit of a poor relation when compared to the main competition. And I think with those electromechanicals, if you can keep a ball in play, you stand a fighting chance. And I think you'd have to be silly not to enter that for £1,000. Why not?
Absolutely. Well, I've entered.
Of course you have.
That's enough for that. Thank you very much. Let's have a quick hello to everybody.
Yeah, who's in?
Collie Wobbles is there. We wish him well.
Oh God, there's loads in here.
He's nursing a nasty injury. I was not even going to make a joke about it. It's not nice at all. But despite his wrist injury, he managed to have his best ever game on Godzilla with an injured wrist. He had his best ever game. He fitted. He's been doing some testing for Davey for Stumblor's wonderful modification for Godzilla, the sign modification, which and Cole's done a lovely video on it, by the way. And he fitted the mods, and he thought, I'll just have a game just to see, and he had his best ever game on Godzilla, which is funny because when I was doing the old Batman there, if you remember, I modded that up. Do you remember I did the video? I said, let's just have a game. I put the mods in. Let's just have a game. I had my best ever game. So,
yeah, it was an absolute corker.
Boys and girls, mod your game, then have your best ever game afterwards. Good evening, Gary. Good evening, Mike. Hope you are well, mate. Say no more. Say no more. Silver Paolo's in the house. How are
He
you,
is
mate?
indeed.
He's sent me some art blades for Godzilla, which hasn't arrived yet, and a mod to stop the balls draining down the middle when the building collapses, which is really, really
I
nice.
thought you were going to use Andy's mod that stops the balls going down the middle when you miss them with the flippers.
I'll watch to take the glass off.
Yeah, and put a roll of tissue paper down the centre drain.
Absolutely. There you go. And there's lots of chatting amongst each other. Who else we got here? We have got Paolo or Pablo. Should we say Pablo? We're going with Pablo. Reese, good evening. Reese, be careful what you wish for. I think we've already seen enough.
There's a lot of shirt there. There's a lot.
There's a lot of comments about your shirt.
I would stand up, but I'm not wearing any trousers, so it's not a good idea.
No. I don't want to see what your boxer shorts are like, quite frankly. Stuart, everybody, Phil's here. Excuse me, and Tony's there.
Tony, evening,
say
Tony.
No more. That's all I'm saying. Say no more. Right, let's get on with things, shall we? Yeah. Right. I know what you all want to know about. Just because we don't want to clickbait it too much and then not talk about Toy Story. People want to talk about Toy Story. So
I want you to tell me what you think of Toy Story.
I will. I've got a little clip here. So Jessica's been. This really feeds into the narrative that Toy Story is a children's game, which it isn't, and it is. We'll get onto that in just a second. So I need to make sure when I play this, I don't get muted. So just bear with me. Can you hear me, Spence?
No, I can't hear you at all.
Okay, I wonder if they can hear me.
No, they're definitely not.
Anyway, so Toy Story's a beautiful, striking-looking machine, by the way, Spencer. And this is actually the first Jersey Jack pinball machine that there has been in Gonzalicious Towers. So, I was actually expecting the thing to fall apart because apparently that's obviously what happens. People were, there was such bad, well, that wasn't bad press, was it? It was just unfortunately what's happening. Some people had playfield troubles with Guns N' Roses. So, there was a lot of bad press on the build up and the release to this. There's a lot of negativity, and not just in terms of build quality, but the theme as well. So I was delighted and am delighted to report that the machine hasn't fallen apart at all. The playfield is intact and it appears to be very, very robust, my friend.
That is good. I mean, it's been interesting. I mean, I'm keen to get your opinion on the gameplay, but I was nosing around on Pinside. I actually found somebody on there that apologized. He issued a quite a frank and honest apology for basically slating the machine for the last couple of months, only to spend a few hours playing it and actually really quite enjoy himself, which I think is very honest, but it always goes to show you should never judge a book by its cover. I'm interested to know what you think about it.
Well, okay, so what I decided, it's a pinball machine. You'll be pleased to hear that.
That's good.
Look, we're going to be doing a lot of videos on it, and they're going to be coming out sort of later on in the week, certainly. But initial impressions, I've been really enjoying it, and I've been going back for more. I'm desperate to reach this sort of carnival mode on it, basically. We talk about expectations a lot, and the bar was so low, I could only be pleasantly surprised by it, really. I looked at it, I thought all my problems with it were theme based. And when I stripped that away, and I thought, actually, I mean, and I could go on, I could list them on. There's no claw. I always imagined that a Toy Story game would have a claw in it. I would think that was the sort of obvious mech to do. There's no claw. I would have thought a claw on a Pizza Planet would have been easy enough to do. I'd have liked see a bit more of Woody in there. There's some of the characters that I think are good characters, like Rex. I would like, I could have substituted some of the more recent characters, for some of them. The whole thing about it not being the main Toy Story and Toy Story 4, I absolutely get, I absolutely understand. So the theming of it doesn't smack of Toy Story, okay? But the more I looked at it, I thought, actually, all of this stuff are theme-based. Actually, the gameplay I quite enjoy. It is like a Bally Williams game, basically, but a little bit deeper. The more I've been playing it, I haven't got to the wizard mode yet, and it's not like I'm one shot off of it. I hope to be able to get to the wizard mode, try and get to wizard mode before I oh my goodness, I've just read what Craig said. Somebody's got over 500 million on Toy Story. And I don't even want to know. Wow. I mean, I'm not even anywhere close. Not even close. Look, the shots on it are pretty damn good. My point is, if you forget it's Toy Story, and actually, if someone had shown me this and said it's a machine, it's a fairground theme or it's a carnival theme, absolutely great. I like pretty much all the shots apart from the skill shot, which was terrible. There's no doubt about it.
So what is the skill shot on it? Talk me through
soft
Why is it
plunge up the ramp thing, and then it's sort of got to take a left turn, like a 90-degree turn, and sort of drop into. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen the game, what I can only describe as almost like the Shire but it's further up the playfield. It's almost like the Shire in Lord of the Rings, and you sort of almost got to drop it down there, but it's hard to get the ball to go to the left. So I reckon I've played 60, 70 games, right, on Toy Story now, and I keep on playing it. I keep on playing it all the time, right? And I've done the skill shot 3 times now. If you think, what's that? That's 3 balls in every game, and then you might get some extra balls, or you might get a lock for multi-ball or something like that. That's actually an awful lot of plunges, and I've managed to get the skill shot 3 times. So that's really hard. It can get caught up in the pop bumpers for a long time. I think there's one too many pop bumps in there. He's put at a time when Keith Elwin's going less on the pop bumper. The one pop bumper, I'm expecting Elwin will do half a pop bumper next. Lawler's thinking, I'm going the other way. I'm going to do 4. It's do you know, like it's like when razor blades, you know what I mean? Suddenly someone put a double razor blade and Gillette.
Oh yeah. I'm going to Gillette and Wilkinson sword chased each other down the garden path on that one.
8 blade for the close. Basically, the shave is so close, you've got no face left. So I think Pat Lawler's gone full Gillette on this one, so the ball can get stuck up there a bit. However, I heard a lot of bad reports of this, that the upper flipper is no good. The upper flipper is good. It's only tiny. I'm talking about the upper flipper, obviously, not that. Obviously not. But you can loop it. So I think my record is 5 loops, which is pretty good for me. And it's a really enjoyable shot. The left ramp is an easy ramp to hit. You can't really miss it. The right ramp's a little bit more difficult. But what I really like is the modes change. So it's not like when you're in a mode, you just know that there's the sequence. You know, it's the left ramp, the right ramp, and then the captive ball or whatever the case may be. It will change it up on you, so it'll be a bit sneaky. So you think, oh, I did this last time. I hit the left ramp and the right ramp. Oh no, it'll just change it. And I know some people won't like this, but one thing I've quite enjoyed, because you know me, I've always have a problem looking up at the screen. It's a great screen, but really the screen is there for the second player in a 2-player game. And I know I'm not meant to like it, but the little screen that's in there, the little iPad thing, I do find useful. Look, there should be a mech in there, and probably should be the claw. But it's not, as I say. And we're getting back into theme-based stuff now. However, I quite like that. And Tim Allen, there's the geezer's name, isn't it? The one that does Buzz Light. Yeah. He's telling you what to do. So even though they'll change the shot... Is it
actually him, or is it a voiceover artist?
It's him.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, so he's telling you, he's hit the left ramp, hit the right ramp, and then you'll be thinking, oh, I know this one. Yep, lock the bill. Say, no, hit the captive ball. Oh, you know, so it's... I'm enjoying it. I've got to say, I am enjoying the game. It's okay. So we've got more people joining. So I haven't been reading all the comments. Let's just say a hello to Jim, because I don't think we've said hello to Jim yet. Yeah, look, I think it's a decent game. Look, it's not going to be trouble in the Pinside top 20 anytime soon. No. And I'm not going to be, selling you know, I was going to say I won't be selling any one of those games. One of them's not mine, so I can't sell it anyway. Let's get that
Sell it
right.
anyway. Go on.
I might sell Matt's game to buy it. I'll list it on there. That'd go down. But yeah, enjoyable game, Spence, and you're coming up to play it anyway, aren't you?
I'm coming up Thursday morning. Yeah. We're gonna do some filming. I'm going to take the opportunity to get some quality time with Toy Story. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh, the ball looks good. Actually, it's got like the TNA drop down targets before you can lock the ball, but they're only one of them. But it is quite like that as well.
I do like that on TNA.
Yeah, I mean it's also on what else is it on? It's on so many games. There'll be people shouting at their phone or whatever now. You know, it's on what's the one? The band Metallica. It's on Metallica, isn't it? And Guardians of the Galaxy, that sort of thing, which are quite like. There's no innovation going on this game. There's nothing new on it. But the one thing I haven't mentioned is the Duke Kaboom ramp, which pops up. Your No Good Gophers ramp, which just pops up at the playfield and it launches off. It is good. It is.
Now I've heard if you can get the ball up that, it returns around, so you can keep on going round and round and round and round and round.
Sometimes. So that's one of the things you've got to achieve. You've got to get a certain number of those. Okay. Like the upper one with a small flipper, that's the upper loop. That's little Bo Peep. Got to get a certain amount of those. And then you got Gabby, who's the naughty girl, the doll. She pops up as like a pop-up target, like your troll.
Did you just flick me the bird then?
Sorry?
Did you just flick me the bird then?
I said that's a shirt. I can't. It's disgusting. So that's good. So they might give you a sequence. So you might think, this is what I'm saying. You might think, oh, I'm going on the loop, doing the Duke Kaboom. And I say, no, bang, you got to hit Gabby now. She'll pop up, hit her. And
right.
The sequences change on it. It's deeper. It's deeper than Cactus. It's deeper than Monster Bash, but it's not a deep game. You know, it's not Avengers Infinity Quest or Jurassic Park or Lord of the Rings. Do you know what I mean?
So what I'm taking away from that is it's not a groundbreaker, but it's a good solid title.
It is. I mean, the problem in terms of, you know, what I think another reason that people are disappointed about it is obviously the price, you know, because it's more expensive. So, you know, the value is in Cat. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's a good $3,000 more than Cactus is.
Right.
But I don't want to say exactly what the prices are, particularly online. And then get it wrong. So go check out everything on Pinball Heaven, and the link is in the description below. Again, but I think just sometimes I've looked at things. If you remember when I did the Alien, the Alien one, you played Alien. I looked at his four flippers. It was a lot of pinball machine.
You did say that it's a lot of game. A lot of game.
It really was. That being said, again, I'd heard the flippers would be crap on this. They're not. I think they're really good. I've been really, really impressed with the flippers on Cactus and on this. So, really good. Let's just say hello to a couple more people. Stephen Dale there, who is Doggard. That is Doggard off the forum. I'm pretty sure. And Pax, good evening to you, sir. Right, yes. So that's Toy Story. Lots more videos to come. We'll get the camera right in there. We'll show you all the shots individually. Hopefully, I can learn enough to do a tutorial. Myself and Spencer certainly be having a game of doubles, but the first proper video that comes out on that will be on the Pinball Heaven YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so now. Right, Cactus Canyon, Spence. We had that, didn't we?
Cactus Canyon. I like Cactus Canyon. It's a good game. Which is quite handy, really, because I got one on pre-order. It's not the deepest game in the world by any stretch of the imagination, but by God, have they done a good job on that remake? It was the first one that I've unpacked new in box, which is a good first to do. I was really impressed with how solid the build quality on it is. I mean, all the plastics on it, all the toys on it, everything is 100% solid. The machine weighs a ton, so much more than any other machine I've even tried to lift before. We obviously got the front legs on it, and then went to lift the back legs, and both of us got a hell of a shock trying to lift the weight of it. And I think that's down to the quality of the construction and just the the weight of the parts. Even the ball plunger. I mean, that's a solid turned piece of metal there.
It
It's
really
very solid.
you took a particular liking to that part of it, didn't you?
I do like a solid bit of machinery.
You do, you do. Yeah, no, everything was so well made on Cactus. I can't I honestly I couldn't recommend it highly enough. That really, I think, and obviously you're getting one anyway, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I've got an LE coming, so I'm going to be doing that. I should be. We're talking about airbrushing later on. I think I'll be getting that airbrushed as well. But the shots on it, being a remake. There's not an awful lot to report, obviously, on the shots themselves. The software is it's a finished version of what should have been the original. It isn't Cactus Canyon Continued.
No.
It's a finished version of the original software, and they've even we found this out after the event. Actually, it's gone off up to tilt. I had a chat with Ryan from CGC, and he said that there is a version of the original unfinished software that you can switch on in the settings. So
which we didn't know at the time.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, I'd have had a nose at it. I mean, it is a bit of a weird one. It's a nice little Easter egg. I don't know whether anybody would go out of their way to switch that on to have an unfinished game. But obviously, there is the the prospect of a deeper rule set coming out, a complete deeper rule set. And I don't know whether they're going to now tweak the software further, the standard software. I know when a lot of the games come out now, they're always doing updates on them. I don't know whether CGC have done that in the past, or whether that's something they're going to be doing with this one. We're kind of going to have to wait and see, really, I think.
Well, I think the thing is the difference. I mean, I don't know. Almost it might be sacrilege to change Attack from Mars or change Medieval Madness. I think in many respects, not a blank canvas with Cactus, but there's because it was unfinished, if you like, there was a bit of room for artistic interpretation. So maybe they can get away, with adding more in it. But I really look forward to this additional bolt-on, whichever. And the suggestion is that Lyman had pretty much finished it. So
yeah, a percentage of about 95 was quoted at one point that I've heard. He was working in conjunction with another coder. And that coder, obviously has been able to continue that work and get that finished. But it was in the final stages of completion.
Absolutely. Let me just a couple of other people. We haven't done it there. So this is Fazbear's Arcade. Can't help feeling JJP's games are not that great. I don't know. I'd tell you what, I'd love to play Pirates of the Caribbean. Certainly love to play that. I quite enjoyed Wizard of Oz, actually. Funny enough, that gets caught, and I think from launch, if I remember rightly, that gets caught in the pops quite a lot. But having said that, Spence, I had Jurassic Park here. Jurassic Park could bounce around in the pop bumpers all day long, so maybe it's not just the fourth one. Anyway,
to be honest, I don't mind that. I mean, when you're playing a classic game, what do you do when it gets up in the pop bumpers? You jiggle the machine, don't you? So you try to keep it up steady. You try to keep it up in the pop bumpers anyway. So
Adam asked Toy Story or Elvira. Look, let's get this absolute. This is what I'm saying. This is not. I'm enjoying playing it. I think Elvira's. Yeah. Well, you'll see. Eventually, I will get round to, because we've got a man cave extension happening at the moment. When that's done, and I will be started doing ranking every game that's lived in this house and basically doing my own sort of top.
However, for a long time, Elvira was a keeper for you, and you were never going to get rid of that. And you'd sell a kidney before you sold that, and
I sold a kidney as
well. Yeah, absolutely.
Buy 2 machines, but So no, I'm not going to sit here and say it's better than Elvira. What my point is, but I tell you what, it's nowhere near the worst. Nowhere near. Nowhere near it. Let's get that right. But no, it's the trouble is when you get told something's crap and it's going to flop and it's going to fall apart and all the rest of it, and you think, I don't know, I'm enjoying this, and then it's got that. I'll tell you what, it has got as well, that extra game. I'll have another. Oh,
Yeah.
I almost got there.
No, good.
I'll have
I love it when people slag off a machine and you get to play it and you're pleasantly surprised. I say
Yeah,
more
well,
people should slag machines off.
well, I mean, we've got Rush coming, haven't we? So
Yeah.
that's going to be interesting because I've heard nothing really great about that. So I would suspect that will be better, better than I've heard. Before we go on to here we go. This
What have you
is
got?
great. Okay, so Mike here, he says mine has that's not a penis, is it?
I think it's a cactus.
Oh, sorry, mine has
Subtle difference, but quite important.
I joke and I jest, and that leads us quite nicely into something that I did want to discuss because I would like you to take a look at this image, Spencer.
What's going on here then? What's all this about?
Well, what can we see, boys and girls? What can we see here? We can certainly see an Iron Man. We can see a Wizard of Oz. I believe we can see a Guns N' Roses. I think at the back there, Bride of Pinball. In the middle, that's that other highway one, isn't it? Which is next to the Alien. The Highway Alien, I believe. Back left, we got a Star Wars. Front left, we got an Avengers Infinity Quest. And middle left, with a cactus astride, sitting proudly on top of the back box, is an original Cactus Canyon. Now,
somebody's a lucky boy.
Well, everybody, well, many of us here could be a lucky boy because there's going to be an opportunity to play these machines and more in a new pinball club, which is I was going to say it's coming. The pinball club isn't moving; it's a sort of stationary building. You have to go to. It's not coming to you. You have to go to it. We will be announcing more details as they come. We're going to go and do some filming next week, aren't we, Spencer? And that is the, I think we can say the Medway Pinball Club. And clearly, you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to know that that is Mike's Cactus Canyon. And we're basically, as it stands at the moment, a wonderful venture by Tony and Mike there, which is we're really looking forward to going down and filming that next week, Spence.
Yeah. I think we'll be going down midweek, aren't we, to go and do a day's filming down there and go and see what the guys are up to. Go and have a chat and a cup of coffee and a bit of a pinball sesh.
Absolutely. There's more pinballs than that, by the way. That is just a small...
How many have they got down there?
I don't want to say, again, for the same reason I don't like to say the price of the pinball machines in case I get it wrong. I think I know, but I don't want to say it wrong. But you know what, Mike and Tony are in the chat. Maybe they will tell us. But there's really exciting times afoot for that. Really looking forward to it. Actually,
there's been a lot of clubs. I mean, Pinball Office and this and the Medway one. I mean, there's more clubs. They just seem to be opening all the time now, which is fantastic. And the more, the merrier.
Yeah, well, it is more the merrier. It really is. I mean, and to give, what was that? I look back at there was at least 2 JJPs there, which were really good. And Wizard of Oz is a sort of groundbreaking machine, I think, as well, because I think it probably kick-started the move from the sort of DMD. Possibly, I don't know the history of it that much, but I would imagine I think the timing of it, maybe it kicked Stern's arse into gear and they thought, we need to do something else with our screens. But I think it's a wonderful game. And if you've ever seen like they got a ruby red edition and there's also like a yellow brick road edition, it's some really nice things that are done with it as well. And you've never played a Guns N' Roses either, have you?
No, I haven't. I haven't played one of those yet.
Yeah,
Phil was saying he really likes his Guns N' Roses.
He does.
He reckons he loves his JJP GNR.
He does. And funny enough, just what I was saying there, he said he would have was back to and evening to Happy Hammerette. There we go. Okay, so the chaps are chatting. This is where the club is going to be. Well, and where it is. What we don't know is that's not a mystery. What is a mystery is who is this?
Yeah, we don't know who this is.
No. We're discussing this. I still think it's someone we know. It's someone we know having a wind up. It's not the original one who went viral.
No, God, no.
No, but it's someone pretending to be him. Anyway, that's
Yeah,
that.
we had a little chat about that, and we're doing investigations. There
Absolutely.
are investigations afoot.
Okay. Rumors of total nuclear annihilation 2.0 or 2, the second one. I don't know any more than that, Spence. I don't know if it's going to be a twist on the last one. But I tell you what, they're like gold dust. You cannot get these machines. The people that have got them are hanging on to them. I'm talking about
I would
the
have one in a heartbeat. Absolutely in a heartbeat. That thumping soundtrack can live in the corner of my living room for as long as it likes. That would be an absolute corker. And if they do decide to announce one officially, I should be first in the queue.
I wonder. Funny enough, and here we go. This is and he's got. So Martin turned up the other day.
Did you know he was coming?
He did.
Okay.
So Martin came around and he was dropping off Toy Story and I said, and the whole side, one side of his van was full of pins. And I said, who's are these? He said they're Collins. Now Colin ain't got no space, right? He's got
no wrist.
That's true. But he doesn't. He is. He literally is the pinball wizard, mate. Do you know what I mean? And now you can understand if Colin can do such a great score of broken wrist. You can understand how Tommy, without the sight, about the hearing, all of that stuff. You actually get better out of the senses you have.
I reckon that's how he broke his wrist. He was having a Tommy.
Excellent. Yes, indeed. About he was on his scooter thing,
he was on his electric unicycle,
and he claimed that someone had dug a trench.
Yes, he wasn't wearing his wrist guards, which is more important.
Anyway, there you go. Sorry, let's just go back. Tony here. The second floor has 18 pins too. Now I'm excited not only to go there and film, but I've been to Tony's place and it was they've done a lot to it since then, so I'm really, really keen to see what they've done. But it's going to be really good, so good. And there will be. I think I can say this much: there will be a tournament happening there.
Good.
I'm not gonna say when because that exact date hasn't been, and it's not far. I'll wait. We'll do the official announcement and all the rest of it whenever Tony and Mike are ready. But it's very, very exciting. So yeah, total nuclear annihilation too. It's a
want to see some more of that. Would love an official statement on that. Really would.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't. Very good.
Does anyone in the chat? Have I got this right? 500. Did they only make 500, or have I imagined that? Is that something else? I'd be interested if someone could confirm or deny.
I think based off the back of that, they would have to do a bigger run of another title. That was so successful, and it's pretty much driven a thirst for another version of it.
No, absolutely. Adam, I'm definitely doing it, mate. I'm definitely doing it. But they're I mean,
he's got the builders in at the moment, Adam. He's doing renovations on the man cave.
Through there, that's basically through there is the extension at the moment.
What he hasn't shown you is that because he's had to screw a piece of wood over where the door is, he's actually made himself a gonzo flap to crawl through.
I have to crawl through. Can you see it?
That's the gonzo flap.
I have to, I actually have to crawl through it. Now, the funny thing was, I'm built like a greyhound, but a fat one, right? A whippet. I built a fat whippet.
I hate to tell you, mate, but a fat greyhound is not a whippet.
I'm like a fat bulldog or something, right? I'm like a fat, small, like a fat chihuahua. I'm like a chihuahua that's eating a bulldog. If I was a dog, that's how I would describe myself. So,
okay.
But the small hatch is not a massive problem. So the guy came over, which will segue nicely into what we want to talk about. The guy will come over I invited him over for reasons that I can't. Sorry, let me get rid of this. Reasons I can't be asked to go into. I can't get my lovely airbrushing done in Germany anymore. Okay, it's prohibitive. The costs are crazy. Not the guy is brilliant, beautifully skilled, but with it being in Germany, Brexit, customs charges, postage, the amount of time it takes, we had to try and source something else, didn't we, Spence? So
yeah.
What we're planning is, I can't remember if I mentioned this on him. We're actually going to start.
I've got designs together for my own armor, haven't we? Basically, we're going to produce armor and get it airbrushed. That's the long and the short of it.
That absolutely, yes, yeah.
So we will be starting to produce side armor with a view to getting that sort of pretty much done as a kit for your machine. And we've got some designs in the offing. Obviously, we've done Jurassic already. Chris has done a couple of others as well. Deadpool. Obviously, you've got Batman being done at the moment, haven't you?
Yeah.
So the idea will be to be able to get some more designs on the go.
Yeah, absolutely. So so Batman, I wasn't sure we'd get it done, but I spoke to a guy. He knows nothing about pinball at all, but he's he's a massively talented artist. So he's been round a couple of times to see it and to take it on. And I've got all these. He's now used to me. I've got all these designs in my head and the way I'd like Batman to look. So he's taken it. He's taken my sort of Gotham City sort of vision away with him. And anyway, he came back to pick up some armor, and when he came back, I realised I had this tiny hatch, and basically he's a big bloke. You know what I mean? He's
built like
I don't know what he is. He's 6'2", he's 6'3". He's not getting through there. So I actually had to take the whole section off just so as he could get him.
So you didn't do the whole comedy thing of getting the saw out and sort of jigsawing out an extra bit so he could get through and all that sort of stuff.
I know an outline of a geezer. Yeah,
exactly. Stand there a sec, go round him. You know.
Hello, Dave.
How are you doing?
Any plans for Monster Bash?
Wow.
Not really. No, not at the moment. Oh well, for armor. If you ask about armor, yes. Actually, what I'd like to do is armor down each side. Mm-hmm. So you know where it goes over the flipper buttons. Sometimes you get bigger armor that goes over there. So we want to do that. But once we've got the technical drawings, which Spencer's doing at the moment, which can then be taken to the sheet metal worker, that rounded bit can actually be changed with different shapes. So what I might do with Monster Bash is one side might be, who's got the saxophone? I think it's Creature from the Black Lagoon's got the saxophone. So I might do one side, so it'll be like a saxophone that goes up as the armor, and the other side maybe Dracula's guitar, something like that. So different things like that. Yeah, so there are plans, but before we get into Monster Bash, will be a little bit further down the line because it will be the Godzilla armor that gets done after that, because I've already sort of got the design in my head for that one. Okay, look, he keeps asking, did we see his comments? All right, he's asked 4 times if we've seen his comment. What comment? Type your comment and I'll read it. All right. Speaking of Monster Bash, Spence.
Yeah.
It's so good.
You're having a right old time on that, aren't you?
It's so good, so good. But what I'll tell you about Toy Story. I've not played Monster Bash for 3 days.
I was going to say to you, you've had a fair few machines go through there, and you've been still talking about Monster Bash. We talk to each other most days, as you can imagine, and he's been talking about Monster Bash quite a lot, even though there's been all these games going through. Interesting that Toy Story has stopped you playing for a couple of days. I think that's a good advert for Toy Story.
Yeah. I mean, Toy Story's not better than Monster Bash. Let's just get that right. But I love it. I love Monster Bash, and I've got some favourite ramps, right? Just in pinball in general, and I've the ball and chain ramp, which is the Bride of Frankenstein, on the left hand side. Basically, that one there. I love it. It just feels right. It just feels right, you know. It just, I don't know. It's a really satisfying realm. I love that game. I love that game so much, and I was right. I did the right thing by it's right at my level, right at my level. I can, you know, I could play it. I don't know. I could play it 25 times, maybe 25, 50 times like that, and then get to Monsters of Rock once. Which thinks about
I used to do the same thing with theatre. It was just pitched just right for my skill level, and if you had a good game, you know, you knew what you were doing. But I bet, you know, you can get to the wizard mode, but also you can have a good scoring game and still not get there.
Yeah. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is it. It is really good. Absolutely, I love the game. Let me just Paul Silver Paolo here. No, he's really good. He's really, really good. Look, he's never done pinball before, Paul. But what I really liked about him, so I spoke to 5, 6, 7 different airbrush artists. He was the only one that said, "Okay, I don't know." He said, "I know what a pinball machine is," but see, he actually thought it was the whole side of it, like the whole cabinet and stuff like that. So I mean, it was really good. He came round and said, no, just the metalwork. Now, obviously, like a lot of these airbrush artists, they do a lot of sort of motorcycle helmets and motorcycle fuel tanks
And things like that. Yeah.
You know, so I could see he was really good, but he actually showed an interest. He said, I'd like to come round. Do you mind if I come round? I said, no, not at all. And he kept on asking me for information. So he said, oh, show me. As I showed him the Jurassic Park video, Tony's got Jurassic Park now. And I showed him the Deadpool video and Elvira as well. And it just kept on showing interest in it and showing more and more and more. And actually, funny enough, myself and Spencer had already started doing this stuff with the armor to make the armor, particularly the side armor, a little bit deeper. And he actually came in here. And the first thing he said when he came in, he said, wouldn't it be good if that side armor was a bit bigger, give you a bit more real estate to get some more artwork on?
Yeah, we like this guy. We do like this guy.
Yeah, and then I was actually telling him, so I was saying, oh, there's no hurry for that one, really. And he said, why? So I told him it's in the competition at Pinfest. And he said, well, what's Pinfest then? So he stayed here, had a cup of tea, and I started showing him videos of Pinfest. And I said, oh, this is in the tournament. And he said to me, oh, well, we need to get it done then, don't we? He said, that's what you want. He said, but don't you? He said, don't you want that machine finished and that? He said, that's the biggest event of the year. I said, well, yeah, I do, but I'll be aware that, you know, you've got a backlog of work to do. And I'm sort of, he said, no, come on, let's get it done. He said, I'll be really interested. He says, it's different. He said, I've got a workshop full of basically car bonnets and, you know, motorcycle helmets and the rest of it. I'd love to do something different. So yeah, he was really cool. He said, yeah, you know, he said, I'll do it. I'll do it in my spare time. So let's get it. So yeah, so that's going to Pinfest with new thingy on it. Where else? So David's in the house. Good evening, David. So
he still hasn't got to wizard mode on Tom.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
We've still got a Theatre Magic video from that, haven't we? We've got loads.
We have. Yeah.
To put up, certainly.
Yeah, we'll have to. We got a few sort of videos dotted around that we've got to get up live. Actually.
Yes. And afternoon, Stuart. Sorry, evening, Stuart. Are you talking about the little tournament at the weekend? There was a little jolly up at the weekend, Spencer.
Was there? Why weren't we invited? Or maybe we.
No. This is a long established jolly up, actually. And funny enough, I spoke to Mark Squires on the telephone a couple of days ago, maybe yesterday, who is a person that's just been known to most people, everyone. If you're into people, you know exactly who he is. So he's going to come and join us on the Chinwag at some point. And there you go. Everyone was invited, apart from you, Spencer. Probably
I'm teasing you.
So yeah, it was. Yeah, apparently everyone had a really nice time. Gary was there. Gary Flower. He's popping up to have a game on Toy Story. When's he coming up? Thursday, I believe.
I was about to say Thursday, isn't it? I'm there in the morning, and you got a crowded house on Thursdays. It's back to revolving doors on Gonzo Towers, really.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? I can't wait. You know, it's all. You know, it's a bit mayhem. That's why I can't wait until that's finished there. It'd be nice to be able to host people properly, you know, with the machines all lined up and whatnot. Right, okay, so List. Godzilla.
I was about to say, I think the next thing on the list is Godzilla. What's the latest news?
It's coming. My one is
Actually coming.
It-
Yours
it's-
is
it-
coming.
Yeah, it may be in the country now.
Wow. That's
yeah,
good.
absolutely. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited, Spence.
After all this time, how long has it been now? Because you ordered one and then bottled it, didn't you? Changed your mind because you weren't quite sure, and then you reordered. And how long has this process been going on now?
I don't know. Whenever it was announced. So I think I got, because the bottled it that you were alluding to was I wanted one, and then I did shit it a bit, to be honest with you. So I got,
It was an unknown quantity. There was so much hype around it, and then people started saying, "Well, I'm not too sure." And then now it's top of the leaderboard.
It wasn't anyone else saying I'm not too sure. It wasn't anyone else saying, it was the reveal video. And I just looked at it, and it were two things. First one, that you couldn't hit. I was so used to Avengers Infinity Quest being able to hit everything with that upper flipper, and the fact you couldn't hit the top ramp with that upper flipper, I thought, well, that's a bit odd. That can't be good. And it was the sound. I just thought, this sound is gonna really annoy me. And the call out, so it's the guy narrating it. And so I didn't, and I got Avengers Infinity Quest instead. So I think it was October or November, something like that.
That sounds about right. Does sound
might
about
have
right.
that slightly wrong. However, it's turned out all right, actually, because I was going to be getting the Pro on it, and just everything that's happened. It sold Elvira and things like that. Things have come and gone, and to be fair, I got a really good price on Batman 66. I mean,
yeah, you did
a really, really good price, which enabled to put a little. It's not endless money, is there? Do you know what I mean? So stuff from pins has to go to it's sort of robbing Peter to pay Paul, really. But it enabled me to maybe go for the premium, which
I think it's a wise move. I mean, now that we know that the machine is, a lot of people rave about it. I think it is one of those machines where you want the collapsing building, and you want the bridge, and you want the top end of the toys on it. It's going to be, for want of, I'm going to use this phrase, it's going to be a keeper. I presume it's going to be a keeper. You might not like it. You might turn up and you go, "Oh, I don't like this."
Yeah, I mean, what I would say is I totally agree with that, though. Played the one at Flip at Pinball Republic, which is, I think it's Neil's got two of them, and the Pro's good. I mean, the Pro is really, really good. Don't get me wrong. And there's nothing.
Yeah,
it's not like we're dealing with what be a really good example of something that's almost nothing. Led Zeppelin would be a good example. Right. Led Zeppelin Pro, it's just falls too short of what the premium and the LE are. I didn't feel that with Godzilla, but it was an indulgence, and I thought actually that would be really nice. So the other thing, all of these, also Godzilla was more fun than I expected it to be as well. When I played it, I thought it might be a little bit serious. I mean, it's not a great one for a fun, and when I say fun, I mean humor. All right, it's not a great one for
it's a bit dry, isn't it?
Just Elwyn's games don't seem so. I was not expecting humor, or it to be fun, and actually, it was far more fun than I thought. And so and then the shots, just the way the ball would work its way in different angles on the play field. We talk about the standard sort of Steve Ritchie layout or a fan layout. I mean, it was just about as far away from that as you could.
Yeah, it's get. What I like particularly. I mean, I've had a couple of games on it up at Pinball Republic, and I did enjoy it. The just the path that the ball takes is fantastic, and I can't wait to see the collapsing building and some of the upgraded toys on it. I think it's gonna make the game even better. As you say, not that the original game is lacking anything because they're not there, but I think with such a well received title, it's worth having those extra toys on it.
Yeah, well, you say about collapsing building, we might have a collapsing building there if I haven't built the extension correctly. It's funny.
Hole in the floor with a pinball in it.
Yeah. The thing on the right, which is the Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah.
I mean, some people say that actually the Pro is better because it gives you more flow because it hasn't got like the turntable. But
Yeah.
I can appreciate that. I've played many a Pro that's got more flow to it. There you go.
Of course you have.
Anyway, let's have a look at this. I find a lot of classics and early solid states have better layouts than latter games that became obsessed with fan layouts. I would agree with that. I would agree, which is why, and probably takes us again. Oh, we're slick tonight, Spence. It takes us in quite nicely to the James Bond conversation. Did I put James Bond in the title? I think I might have done for click.
Did you put James Bond in there for clickbait? I can't remember.
Quite possibly. Okay, so here's Steve Ritchie was at Sturm. And then he left Stern. Maybe he was a naughty boy. I don't know. Maybe whatever. Maybe something didn't. It's probably quite a boring story. But anyway, so he left.
He probably just wanted more money or a longer holiday or something. I don't know.
Well, he went to Jersey Jack's. And he was working on, apparently, this is the story. He was working on James Bond. He left. So they got the proper goat, George Gomez, right? Say no more. Plus Deadpool, say no more. They got the proper goat in to say, rescue us, George, rescue us, please. Steve's left. So George has got in there. And this has been a hot topic, mildly warm topic. In fact, if it was Nando's, probably a lemon and herb topic.
Yeah, it's been a topic of minor interest.
On the forum. A few people have said, no, he apparently scrapped everything that Steve Ritchie did in terms of the layout,
wow.
And he's going with his own. So this would be really a George Gomez game. Now apparently it might be a Kapow game, meaning there will be no pro model on it. So you're in at premium or LE. But James Bond Spence, and the reason it got juicy was Canada, who was such a good pinball podcaster. They named a country after him.
Yeah, that's really good going, isn't it? That's quite a lot of followers, isn't it?
That's a lot of followers. He's got a lot of followers. All paying a $5 a month. I tell you what.
Wow, that's pretty good. How many people live in Canada now?
I don't. It's mostly bears, actually.
It's got a lot of wildlife, hasn't it?
Mostly bears and salmon in Canada.
He's quite rugged on the quiet and cold in the winter.
Yes. Well, he released a picture of a Aston Martin DB5, I believe.
Yes.
And it wasn't actually a picture of an Aston Martin in a pinball machine. It was just a picture of an Aston Martin, but he was saying this is going to be...
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, well, he couldn't get one, but he was saying this is actually going to be one of the mechs on James Bond, which got everybody very, very excited. Well, why wouldn't you? If you like James Bond, and you start looking at some of the mechs like the collapsing bridge, the sort of collapsing building, the house on Elvira, they've been doing some mechs, haven't they, really? Stern, you think if they could make a sort of mechanized...
well, there's a lot of scope for it, because if you take a DB5 and you think about the Bond car, there's something happening all over the car. You've got machine guns that pop out of the front. You've got a bulletproof shield that goes up at the back. You've got the ejector seat. You've got all sorts of toys on it and revolving number plates happening at both ends of the car. So if you had a vehicle that spun, you could then have it doing all sorts of things. It's going to be an interesting one. If that is going to be a toy, there's a lot of scope for having it as a central multifunctional toy.
Well, it's really interesting, but doesn't people have been looking for clues to see who? Where
have they been looking?
Well, to see, it's not a Sherlock Holmes pin. That'd be a good one. Actually, be crap pinball machine. Sherlock,
nobody can work out the ending. What's Wizard Mode? Work it out yourself. Come on.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's right. Nothing on the apron card at all. Yeah.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. It's definitely a crash. Who's in for a Hound of the Baskervilles? Not me.
No, saw that.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. So hold on a second. What we?
You're right.
yeah, I don't want to jump it too much. So anyway, yes. So James Bond. So I find that
Yeah.
really interesting, particularly if it's going to be George Gomez. So then we've got an issue if the next Stern game after that is them either Back to the Future or Jaws, and that's Elwin. Then it's just all bad. It's all. I mean, it was so good that there's just, you know,
You haven't got the bar set very high for that, have you?
well, I mean, you know, it's what can you do? You know, you can't have all the pinball machines, but you'd certainly want to.
No, no,
You'd want to have
would want to.
you'd want to have all of those pinball machines, and then if Godzilla's the greatest of all time, as people are calling it, and I don't doubt that. By the way, it's going to be very, very interesting.
It will be. It'd be interesting to know. I mean, I'm still really keen to work out if, and it is a big if, there is a DB5 on there. I think the only Bond that didn't have anything to do with DB5 would have been, oh God, who came after Connery?
Dalton.
No, not Dalton.
Roger Moore.
Roger Moore. That was it. His name left my brain.
Have a DB5. Okay.
He was the only one that didn't. I think all the others had a nod to it, even if they didn't drive it in the films. They would have wandered through sort of Q's secret workshop, and there would have been one sort of in the back there looking shifty. But I think, you know, it doesn't really narrow down. Everybody sort of would like to have their favourite Bond on it. But I think if they can get, I don't know, they'd have to put a character on there, wouldn't they? They'd have to tie it down to a time period. They would have to.
I mean, they couldn't have generic, but it can't just be like Ian Fleming novels, can it? You're going to have to use a Bond.
Otherwise, the only toys on the playfield will be a DB5, a martini, and a packet of cigarettes, and that's not going to work.
Does he smoke? Does the recent James Bond?
Oh God,
smoke?
yeah. Well, no, the original one. Connery used to smoke.
Well, I know they used to. I'm talking about Craig David or whatever his name is.
Craig David, yeah.
Craig David, yeah, him.
Yeah, he doesn't smoke. You know, smoking's gone out of all movies now. But in the Fleming books, I mean, you know.
He's an alcoholic, womanizing.
He's an alcoholic, womanizer, chain smoker. You know,
yeah.
So yeah, don't do a pinball based off a Fleming book because it's
no. I'd actually think I'd prefer. Give me a rewind. I think I'd prefer. I think I'd prefer Craig David on there actually than Daniel Craig. In fact, I think I prefer pretty much anybody aside from Daniel Craig. But there you go.
You're not a big fan of the Craig.
Well, I'm a fan of the Craig David. No. I liked him in Layer Cake. It's not that I think he's not without his merits. He just lacks. Well, he's not humorous. He's not really. He's quiet. He lacks charisma. He lacks personality. He's just not.
See, I have to disagree.
You think he's funny? Give me a line. Give me a line.
I can't remember one off the top of my head.
Okay, got any Connery lines?
You expect me to die?
There you go. Right. So, this thing. Okay. So I think he lacks charisma and he lacks personality. I think he's very understated, which I think is fine. Okay. But then make sure that Q is eccentric. Make sure he's really, really interesting. Do you know what I mean? And then say they can't even do that either. I think I just think the whole lot. I think they lack a lot of.
The series as a whole went much more modern, less tongue in cheek, and less gadgety as such. But I still rate Craig David as a good Bond.
He's a good singer. No, look, it's all right. It's all right. I'm just saying, in terms of charisma and personality, he's probably got. Of any Bond that's done any number of films, he's probably got the least. Even Brosnan, who wasn't the best, he had a little twinkle in his eye, a little bit cheeky. He had a few jokes.
Dalton actually was pretty good. I saw what was it? I think he did 2 films, didn't he, Dalton? And that was
The Living Daylights.
Living Daylights, yeah, they're not bad films. They're not bad films.
No, it was fine. And he was in Flash Gordon, which is, well, you get credit for being in Flash Gordon, don't you? Let's be perfectly honest with you.
You do get credit for being in Flash Gordon.
So that's that. One other thing I just wanted to talk about was, so I haven't got the clip here, but it is on our Facebook page. I went to an arcade.
We can get that up. We can get that.
Okay.
I
wonder if the sound will work as well.
think we can
So
share that.
I went whilst Spencer's looking for it. Went to an arcade in Farnborough and it had a pin room
Right, I can
in
do
it.
this.
And well, anyway, in that pin room, I managed I found anything because it was so dark. But in it, and it was really, really badly lit. I did find a Dirty Harry, and I really enjoyed it as much as it was the only one I could see because it was sort of under a skylight. I thought that's a really decent game. I really, there you go, Spencer. You're bringing it up. Do I have to bring it up, or do you want?
You slide it into view. I'll press play.
Okay. Okay, so this is me in the dingy arcade. This is obviously Dracula, as you'll see. You just could barely see it. I mean, it was crazy. There's another video as the one before that, Spence, but that was, I mean, it was crazy. You know, you just couldn't see the ball. The video before that was a little walk around. It had a Judge Dredd in there. It had Judge Dredd. Now I'm struggling to think what was now next to it. Obviously, it had Dirty Harry. I've lost it.
Do you want to sort out all this? We need to. We're the wrong size. Hey, there we are.
But I liked Dirty Harry.
Did you? I've not played Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
Why did you like Dirty Harry?
I don't know. The shots were good. The ramps were good. I think I was quite good at it, actually. I didn't play badly on it at all. Oh, come on. Johnny come lately. We're finishing, Matt.
Good evening.
We're finishing. There he is.
He's an hour too late. Can you believe? Actually, yes, Matt. Of course, I can believe.
And a happy anniversary, my friend. A happy anniversary.
What are we celebrating?
Well, it's not like 10 years that he started London Pinball. Wedding anniversary.
Wedding anniversary. Okay.
Yes, happy anniversary. It was was it last week? I thought last week was last week. So yes, happy anniversary to you both. Yeah, I think Matt's just come in there. I'm not just saying this, Matt. I do think that just about wraps it up. Have we discussed? Yeah, it does though. Look on your list, Spence. Have we missed anything? Go on.
No. I think we've been through absolutely everything on the list. What day? When's Rush? Rush is turning up next week, isn't it?
I was end of this week or start of next week.
Fantastic stuff. I will, in that case, have to pop up next week. Actually, not here next week.
Well, we're going to the Medway Pinball Club, mate, next week.
Yes, we are.
And you're up this week to play Toy Story.
That's right.
So yeah, I mean, there's much. The revolving door never stops, and of course, we are expecting the Godzilla in as well, which is highly exciting. But I may well be in a really weird situation where Godzilla sits in its box for a few days. That'd be weird. You get a new box and you don't open it.
That's funny enough. I was reading a story on one of the pinball Facebook pages. This guy had ordered a Deadpool, and he'd ordered it when his son was born, and his son it sat in a box for so long. His son was the first person to have a game on it.
Oh, really?
His son was 3.5 before it actually got out of the box and got set up, which I think is bewildering that you would order a pinball and have it sat around in a box for 3.5 years.
Yeah, sorry. Funny enough, the old WhatsApp's pinging at the moment, so we got there's pinball WhatsApp being pinged at the moment. That's all right. Don't worry. It's do you know what it is? It's Davey Stumble.
Yeah,
you know what he's asking me?
I have no idea.
You're going to tell everyone. This private message. He said, Gonz, when you have a moment, could you please look at the back box of the particular pinball machine he's asking about? Take some measurements from me. Oh, there you go. He needs measurements of a pinball machine.
He does indeed. He's a technical boy, that.
Yes. And there's one from Tony. So yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Much to look forward to. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in. Thank you, Paul. Very kind of you, sir. Very kind of you. I'm sure I will see you on the other side and see you online, no doubt. I'm sure I'll catch up with many of you online. Spencer, thank you as always, and thank you to
I
your
will see
your
you
shirt.
on Thursday, sir.
You're not dressed like that, you won't, I hope.
I shall be coming in my loud shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'd be really good. Do you know what? Why not? Why not?
Why not, indeed? I tell you what, if they wanted a protest on the motorway, this would do it. This would do it. You want a fuel protest?
I don't mean
Not a
doing it.
problem.
They're sticking themselves to pieces of art.
I thought they were just
Do you not
driving
know?
slowly. No.
No. The protesters. I don't know what I'm sure people protest about all manner of things. No, the protesters are sticking themselves to constables. I don't mean policemen.
Oh God, that's going to ruin them.
Yeah, no, and you know the really famous one, Da Vinci: The Last Supper. They've gone and stuck themselves. I think it's to the frame of it. I'm not sure if they've actually touched the canvas.
Holy cow!
Yeah, that's what they've been doing. I don't know. Yeah, so
Well,
protesters have been
not
walking
being
into
funny,
galleries and supergluing themselves to artworks, and then.
But if you're gonna, even if you have a go at the frame, can you imagine if you got a Da Vinci and it's in a 200, 300, 400-year-old frame and somebody goes and sticks their mucky mitts all over it?
I'll tell you what, and I couldn't believe how patient the galleries were. If someone did that right on the armor on my Deadpool, I'll tell you what, I would not be quite so friendly about it. I'll tell you, and I'm not sure what is worth more, the Da Vinci, the Constable, or the bespoke Deadpool. Well, I think we all know.
I don't think you need to go any further with that. I think you know the answer to that one.
Just quickly, John Bristow, technical breakdown. Says,
does he need a hand to get in the box?
For 6 months, still haven't opened it. Excellent. There you go.
I'll go around there with a Stanley knife. We'll get it out of there in no time. It's not a problem.
You want to be careful. Some protesters might stick themselves to the box.
Absolutely.
Right. Thank you, one and all, for joining us. So next week we won't do a Chinwag on Tuesday for obvious reasons, because we're going to go and do some filming at the Pinball Club on Wednesday. So we'll do something sort of later on that week or next week, but we will get a video out, maybe a little doubles game of fishtails, or there'll be some Toy Story videos out, to be fair. Yeah. So there'll be Toy Story videos out. So you'd have to, and then after that we'll do a Chinwag, maybe get a chat with Tony, if that's all right, Tony. Do a Chinwag with you, mate, and then some tour around the Pinball Club, and then there's a lot of titles there, Spence, that you've not played before, I've not played before. We've got
absolutely looking forward to
some game of doubles, I think, when we go down there, mate. It'll be lovely as well.
Oh, yeah, we'll get some of those, and I'll give you a village beating.
Lots of content. Please don't forget the Pinfest Classics tournament. £1,000. £1,000.
You'd be mad to miss it.
You would be mad to miss it. £1,000, but you've got to register. So go on to Pinball Info. The link is in the description below, and you can register via there. Okay, and the link is not there right now. Give me 10 minutes. The link will be there at the bottom. Literally, there's a drop-down menu underneath this screen. Probably, actually, it's over near Spencer's side. So basically, at the bottom, no, keep going, down. There, there'll be a drop-down menu. Click it down, and then that should take you to where you can pre-register for the Pinfest Classics tournament. Oh yes, that's going to be good. Right, I'm going to go, because otherwise we carry on waffling. There's only one thing to do, Spence, and that is to use the correct end slate.
Oh, the right one. That's good.
That's a lovely one. Spencer, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
And goodbye from me.